You worked with Coach Jones with the Atlanta Falcons. What was it that attracted you most to coming to SMU, and how much of it was specifically the chance to work with Coach Jones again?
Well, it was 100% to work with Coach Jones again. I was his offensive line coach with the Atlanta Falcons in 1994, 95, and 96. And I'm also friends and have worked with 3 or 4 other guys on his staff. You know, Frank Gans and Bert Hill and Joe Herring, and so it was a real easy decision and a really easy transition for me.
A couple of the other coaches who have come in here in recent years have said one of the main things that brought me to SMU was the chance to work with Coach Jones again. What is it about working with him that is so enjoyable and that allows you to have such a positive working relationship?
Well, he's number one. He's a great person, and he's very intelligent. He's a good coach. He's a winner. I think he's proved that from the times that wherever he's coached, whether it be in the National Football League or at the collegiate level, and you combine all those positive attributes, and it's easy to make a decision to work for a guy like him.
You come in starting from scratch with this offensive line, and the line has 5 new starters, right, whoever they're going to be.
Right.
Who has the harder job, you or the players?
I think I do. I think I have the harder job. I'm looking forward to working with these young kids. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a chance for all of us to start fresh, in a new capacity. And I'm looking forward to the start of spring ball. And right now I'm just getting myself refreshed and reoriented with Coach Jones's offense. But I'll be ready to go by April 2nd.
When you start with a new team, whether it's in the NFL or at Wisconsin or UCLA or now here at SMU, what are the first steps or the first goals that you have when you start working with a new group of linemen for the first time?
Well, first of all, I want to establish a positive relationship with each of these kids. I want them to know that they can trust me. I want them to know that I'm going to teach them the very best that I can with the 41 years experience of coaching that I have. And then it's just a matter of us being on the same page in terms of terminology and recognition of defenses and so on.
We're about a month and a half removed from signing day, so a lot of people look at, well, all players, but including offensive linemen, and they see heights and weights and 40 times and bench press. Obviously, it goes a lot deeper than that because there are a lot of kids coming out of high school who are big and strong. What do you specifically look for in offensive linemen who can play for you?
Well, I'm looking for those same things and the measurables, but at the same time I'm looking for intelligence. I'm looking for kids that have toughness, and most importantly, I'm looking for kids that have good character.
Some of the guys that you have coming back have played. Blake McJunkin has been a starter in the past. Brian Collins has played. Ben Gottschalk has played. Do those guys automatically get a little bit of a leg up with you, or do you basically look at this group as basically all freshmen because everybody's brand new with you?
Everybody's starting off fresh, and it doesn't make any difference what you've done in the past. We're going to start here because none of them were starters this last year. So I want to give everyone an equal opportunity to prove themselves. And a lot of times kids, they get lost in the shuffle and they feel a little bit disgruntled because for whatever the reason they didn't feel they were given an honest chance. And I'm going to give them an honest chance to prove to me what they have.
You mentioned that you're getting refreshed and sort of getting reacquainted with Coach Jones's offense. Specifically from an offensive line standpoint, how much different is it coaching for the offensive line in his version of the run and shoot with the 2-point stance and all that compared to other systems that you've taught?
Well, there are an awful lot of similarities, and at the same time there are a few nuances that are a little bit different. But I had to get refreshed again. Like I said, the players are going to have to learn the terminology that I use. Well, I have to make sure that I understand Coach Jones's terminology. And that's always the biggest change whenever you go from one job to another. Zone blocking is zone blocking, and pass protection fundamentals and principles are the same. But it's the terminology that is different, and that's where I have to make sure that I'm on the same page as Coach Jones, and I have to make sure that my players then in turn are on the same page as me.
You've coached 3 Outland Trophy winners, Gabe Karimi and Joe Thomas at Wisconsin, Jonathan Ogden at UCLA. Obviously, they're all big, strong, and exceptionally talented, but Who out of those guys, who surprised you the most, or who made the most progress under your tutelage?
They're all great players. Number one, they're all great players, and I'd hate to pick one guy over the other. They all had, they were all different in their own unique way, but yet at the same time, the very best in the country. You know, Jonathan Ogden was the biggest, more of a wide body road grader type of tackle, whereas Joe Thomas, Jonathan Ogden probably weighed 330 pounds and was 6'7", where Joe Thomas was 6'7" and weighed 311. He was a little more athletic, a little more fluid, and so on. And Gabe Creamy's probably a hybrid, a little bit in between both of them. But all very intelligent guys, all very highly motivated. You knew early on that they were going to be great, great players. I didn't know for sure whether they're all going to be Outland Trophy winners, but I've been very, very fortunate to have coached a lot of great, great players in my career.